kick the stream. Don't do that. That's rude. We don't kick the stream. How dare you? Although you are right. For some reason, the music stopped playing, and I don't know why. So... no idea why that stopped, by the way. But, hey, who knows how technology works? Let's go ahead and rotate in. All right. Yeah, who even knows how all this works? I'm just here. Don't know why it randomly stopped. That's just life, I guess. But, let's do it. So today, sound like a different person. I am a different person, Robert. My name is actually Deuce. I'm not Rev, I'm Deuce. Today we're going to talk about some event structures. For those that don't know, this was Eco's first time running a weekly event run. First time doing event design, period. But for those that don't remember, Eco was a community manager who moved into live ops. So he is now doing events. And his first run of events was the Summer Games. With today being the final day, technically you have tomorrow, which is America's birthday. But with technically today, starting the final day, I figured it would be a great opportunity to get some feedback that we can push out to everybody. And that way, hopefully we can get improvement. I do think we actually went through like individual grading in the official Discord. So for those who aren't in the official Discord, I don't necessarily always recommend the official Discord. I do think the official Discord has gotten better about not being like just toxic. It actually is a place where feedback can get produced and read. And will say I appreciate Eco, who has been going through and participating in said chat. So if you haven't joined the official Discord, we've been going through a lot of that today where Eco made himself available to talk about his event structure, what different pieces of feedback he could provide or we could provide and etc. And I'll also shoot him this type of video. So we can go over all that as well. I do think that I have some main critiques I want to hit on very early. Number one critique is this was improperly labeled. And the reason I say that is the Summer Games Marathon is a Kobayashi Maru event. Kobayashi Maru events, for those that don't know, are high scaling milestones, usually like 16 milestones, 12, 16, more than normal. You see 4, 8, 12, 16, and they are meant as spend events. They are literally a spend event. The biggest issue that I would say with this is it wasn't properly labeled as that. Now, in my opinion, not to like take Scopely's side, it should have been obvious. It's 16 milestones that yes, it's a spend event, but I do agree. And you remember that I'm the person who fought for originally them to get labeled as heroic and stuff. You do want to be able to see immediately that it is an expected spend event, but the marathon should have been labeled as a spend event, so that people didn't feel like it was an SMS you were expected to complete. 16 milestones, you're not going to complete that unless you have saved all kinds of wild stuff camping, or you are going to spend and probably level up. So that's probably one of my main critiques. The next critique that I brought up, which applies to mostly free-to-play and light spenders, is that the domination style event, the fitness exam, is needing to have ship and officer XP. If it's going to run 3 days in a row, technically 4 days in a row, it needs ship and officer XP, right? I think many in chat would agree with that. I'd also say that the catalyst rewards need to be upped a bit because I actually get more catalyst rewards from doing my pull in X-Borg than I do from completing this event. But I do think it's worth mentioning and worth noting. Then I would also add in that the Tal Shiar recruitment event, specifically for those of you out there who are 60 plus, 61 plus really, basically G6 players, this is just ridiculously hard to do because of the scaling. But that obviously is affecting, less than 10% of the game, but still their complaints should be noted. But those are my main critiques. I do think overall, it's a good event series. Most of it overflowed with your normal dailies, I think, completing the bronze, silver, some of the gold. And I do think that this is a rare instance, in my opinion, and we'll flip over to the chat. I think this is an instance of getting PvP right. And I want to make a real, effort to note that because we don't seem to get PvP right that often in STFC. When I say the PvP right, I mean that you have easy to complete, as in wrong one. The PvP is able to be done. Why do I keep clicking the wrong thing? I've already completed it. So day 1, you had Rialta. Day 2, you had Vidar. Day 3, you had Discovery. It also allowed you to hit across the galaxy. But here's the catch. You couldn't do minor hitting across the galaxy. So they gave you 2 ways to do the PvP event. You could try to do system PvP. If your server did not have system PvP, that's okay. Then you could go around the galaxy and hit explorers, battleships, or interceptors, but it didn't count minors. I actually think this is doing PvP right. It's the best of both worlds. On my, I've done these events on 3 of my accounts. All 3 of them, thankfully the servers I played on, I was able to go to a specific system and it was easy. But I realized that not every server has that ability. So to compensate for that, you allow people to hit. But we know that the majority of players, the vast majority, want to leave minors out of it. That's fine. So this gave the best of both worlds. I think this is one of the few instances where we got PvP right. I want to make sure that we note that. Now, if chat disagrees, chat, you're welcome to chime in. In fact, for posterity's sake, or whatever the proper terminology is, here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to put, technically, if you rewatch a live stream, you can see it on the right side. But, you know, we're going to put chat in the video. You're now live, chat. Behave yourselves. Put chat in the video. I do think that feedback for these type of things, especially for somebody who is a new event runner, it's good to do this type of look at Horatio. Hi, me. But I think the Rialta Vidar Discovery, it provides in my opinion, the best ability to flip, you know, outcomes. For example, with me being on this account level 50, you see most of the people that I'm fighting are 53, 55, 56, 57, etc. But I was able to beat some of them. I would not have been able to beat them if this was a PvP event where you told me at level 50 to bring my Pylum and fight a Sanctus, right? I would not have beaten DMFL No More Wallop if that was the case. But because these events were using lower tiered ships and allowing for a variety of crewing again, made it a little bit more fun. And talk to yourself now, good Viper. So I do think that PvP was good. I would, yeah, chatception, right? I would add that the events weren't perfect, but if I had to grade each event by themselves, I would say the meta is ignorable. No offense, Eco, it's ignorable, right? Why is it ignorable? Here, let me move this to, we'll make chat a little bit smaller, move it to the other side of the screen. Why is it ignorable? Because it's Enterprise E Troy. Now, here's why, look, there's nothing wrong with Enterprise E Troy, but everybody knows that the valuable officer in this series is, you know what, chat, you yell it out. Let's see if everybody's on the same page. What is the most valuable rare officer in the Enterprise E set? Can chat yell it out? Now just tell me, who do you think it is? So the obvious answer would have been to do what chat is saying and have data, right? Enterprise E data would have been the clear option here. Giving out 10 shards of Enterprise E data would have made this more of a win. That doesn't mean that Troy is terrible. I have her at tier 3. But Enterprise E data is somebody that everybody needs, right? That is somebody that 99% of the game either doesn't have or definitely doesn't have maxed. So having that would have been fantastic. And for the very small amount of you that don't have it, you know, you would have got, you know, some transporter patterns. That's my main critique for this. Like I said, this one just simply needs to be labeled Kobayashi Maru so that the free-to-play know that they just ignore it. I decided that I would rather have the Syndicate XP over going after a few, you know, what we assume are PvP officers this month. So I just went after the Syndicate XP and spent some of the mats that I would have spent this month. So. Oh, I'll respond to a dev real quick. All right, done. All right, he probably was able to put more Troy in the vid that he would have database on scopeless cost. That actually isn't the case, Clint. He actually was talking, Eco talked about this in Discord, and he just picked Troy because his logic was Troy wasn't sourced as much as data was. That's the reason. It had nothing to do with the various costs. They actually are seen as identical. It just simply came down to he chose that based on, well, Troy isn't sourced as much, so go after. But I think you would find that most players, if this chat is any indication, would have rather had data, which is fine. But I do think, if I had to say, for first time creating a weekly event structure, this is not a bad set of events. And for me to classify something good or bad, I go with a pretty simple logic. Would I want to do this again? And the answer is yes. Like, if I could pick a set of events to run in a week again, this is fine, especially for an off week, like a between arc time. I would be okay with this happening again. I would like to adjust things, absolutely. But definitely wouldn't be happy. I would be okay with this coming again. So overall, I think it's good. It just needs a little bit more tweaking, right? I think that the rewards and tier up catalysts should be upped, just because realistically you need so many. I mean, I actually brought this up to Eco, just using my Metreon Cascade as an example, because that's the free-to-play epic that everybody goes after. If I want to upgrade that, I'm only at tier 5. Like, I don't have this high-end Metreon Cascade. My next upgrade is 23,000 tier up catalyst. So me getting 750-ish today is not that, it's a drop in the bucket. We want to see some of those rewards increase a little bit, but the style I'm pretty okay with, and I'm not seeing too much disagreement in chat either. So again, feedback good. Rex says, I might have done the spin if the rewards were sprinkled in smaller amounts, but you got little of all the rewards. That is a interesting idea. I actually would have been the opposite. The only reason I went as hardcore as I did on the first 4 milestones is because it was over 100,000 Syndicate XP. I would not have touched it if it was like 10,000, if you had to split that among 16. So let's just say like it was 6,000 Syndicate XP and a huge shard and Galactic Recruit and 50 premium mirror dust. I wouldn't have bothered at all. But because it was concentrated so much at the bottom, I went after it. Now, I would argue that if you had made Hue more, because only getting 25 Hue shards, a quarter of Hue for 5 million points, I wasn't going to go any higher. If it had been half of Hue, I might have actually gone all the way up to 10.4 million. And then these have no value to me at all. This does. So the middle rewards I felt were pretty lacking. But I scored my 5 million, I got my Syndicate XP, and popped out, right? I actually would not have participated at all if they split it amongst like little by little, but I'm not saying that's a wrong opinion. I'm just giving you my thoughts on what you said. I think anything's good to bring up. Anything's good to bring up. So Inslayer says it was a nice break for me, 30 minutes and done. We like those type of events, right? We like those. Robert says 600 more Hue shards till max slow going. And see, that's where I'm at. Like if it had been more Hue shards, like a 50, I probably would have gone after it. Because here's my Hue. And I don't know where everybody else is at, because it comes down to, one, most of you have to be 40 plus to be decently progressed with your Hue. Mine's tier 3, working towards, I'm 108 shards from tier 4. So if I could have got another 50, that would have been good, because obviously the payouts from the Epic Solar Armadas is a very, very slow Hue drip. So yeah, that might have incentivized it more, but without that, I stopped at the Syndicate. Ray, good afternoon, good to see you. Even with the tier 1 Hue, I didn't think it was worth dumping that many mats. Tier 1 Hue, again, if it would have been 50, maybe. But 25, probably not. But obviously as a tier 1 Hue player, you definitely want to get him upgraded, right? You definitely want to get him upgraded. So I do like that every milestone was a fixed amount per spin needed versus doubling every milestone like normal heroic. So that is the difference, Gar, between a heroic and a Kobayashi Maru. The Kobayashi Maru is an extended set of 16 milestones. So it's a lot of milestones, but the spacing between them is not that hard. Generally with a Kobayashi Maru, the hardest milestone, is the first one, which is generally a little bit higher than a standard SMS is going to be. But then afterwards, it gets easier to level up the various milestones. What about making rewards customizable? Short answer, that's just not a possibility with the tech the game has and how live ops works. But I would obviously love that, but it's not something that they can do. I got problems STFC stores or anywhere else I can purchase the energy whip. Ambo, I guess number one, I'd love to see what the issue is with the store so we can discuss it. You can shoot me some screenshots on Discord. Is it just the Excel store not letting your payment go through? But we can definitely try to find what's going on and get you some support. You actually spent them any mats? Yes. But at the same time, yes, at level 50, spending 5 million mats is not hard. Unless you're just rushing through the game, right? You know, like I said, I've talked about getting 3,000 to 5,000 uncommon mats a day. So that part is not hard. Now scoring 20 million, that's hard. That's very, very hard. That's very hard. And exactly what Adam said, custom rewards would be like the Ferengi style Dabo table that they will run sometimes, which is an event store structure. But in terms of like letting you pick your rewards for your event, that just can't exist individually, but it can on a greater scale for something like an event store. So you have mass manure to spin them on? Yeah, Raj. And again, as I said in the beginning, these style of events, just beware. They are spin events, not only designed to take the mats out of you and force you to spin, but also to incentivize and encourage leveling up. Because if you run into the wall of, well, I have nothing to spend on, then the simple answer from Scopely will be go up an ops level, and you will definitely have something to spend on. If I wanted to, I might actually be able to get here, maybe, but I would have to definitely go into the G5 area of the game, which I'm not ready to do just quite yet. So you have to make those decisions for yourself. Find the value. I just want to really emphasize, number one, it should have been labeled better. But number two, I don't want players to ever feel obligated to do these style things. If you find value in certain pieces, go after it. If not, ignore. Just ignore it. Because the main things that's meant for everybody are the bronze, silver, and gold runs, right? So let me put the picture back up that we had. I made a horrible, crappy graphic. Where did I put the crappy graphic? I don't know where I even put that little, you know what? It's in the video. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But the bronze, silver, and gold events, that was the everything events, right? Valhalla says, I really like the premium dust. I wish I could spend that much to get it. See, I also like the premium dust, but it makes sense why it's at the very top because it's brand new, right? And I'll be real. End of the day, I mean, it would probably be cheaper if there was a pack to buy than to sit there and spend 20 million points. But I also know that marathon events, Kobayashi Maru events are not made for Rev. They're made for somebody else, right? They're made for players in this game who are willing to drop more money than Rev is, and that's their prerogative. Is this Kobayashi Maru SMS a better option for the monthly officer events? Steven, that's something that you have to decide for yourself, right? For me, I base it off what we know arcs are themed around. And this isn't me giving away information. This is just using history of this game to predict the future. Arcs and their officers all tend to work together. The first month of Mirror Universe was a PvP set of officers. Logic dictates, to quote Spock, that month 2 of the Mirror Universe would be more of the same, more PvP officers. You have to decide for yourself if you would rather have, in my case, Syndicate XP. For me, it took me to Syndicate 32, or would I rather have officers? Because likely I have cost myself the ability to get the epic this month, right? I'm very unlikely going to be able to afford to get the epic because I just dropped 5 million points on this event this week. That's a decision you have to make for yourself. Personally, I would rather have Syndicate 32 than whatever PvP officers coming up, because even though I like PvP, it's such a small part of my gameplay. But if I'm getting better in Syndicate, I'm actually going to get better in PvP anyway, because I'm going to get more bonuses and things are going to get better down the road. So I chose Syndicate XP. That doesn't mean choosing the PvP officers is a bad route. You just literally have to decide what's better for you. So that's why I actually decided to invest in the marathon, and I didn't have an issue with dropping 5 million. I just know that I'm not going to have that same level of freedom in July. Does Logic suggest any chance of PvE related officers or otherwise to boost the Apex shield outside the MU? Logic dictates that that's in the mirror research tree. Logic dictates. Logic dictates. Yes, Sugar Fat Man, I've actually learned that a lot of the people that are part of our community are past me in Syndicate. I was like, wow, I really need to work on, and here's why I was so far behind in Syndicate. If y'all were playing the game at the time, you remember, gosh, been a year. The Mantis broke. When the Mantis broke, instead of me just trying to trudge through it and like just still get the things done, I just stopped doing the Actian grind for months until they fixed the Actian grind. That cost me hundreds of thousands of Syndicate XP because I wasn't doing the Actian double pull. I wasn't leveling up my Mantis to make the Syndicate pull better in the Actian store. So I started to fall behind a lot of people. This gave me an opportunity to catch up a little bit. So, and you have to kind of pull that for you. For me, I really want to get to Syndicate 33. Why? Because all my ships are going to get a big buff with shield boosting. And then I want to get to 35. And then I want to get to 36 because you get a free forbidden technology. So Syndicate XP is still very valuable to me because I haven't maxed it out. And that's why I look at things like the marathon. I'm like, you know what? It does have value for me to drop these 5 million right now. Do you get Strange New World Officers from the Mantis? Already have. So I got my Strange New World Officers as high as I felt like I needed them. I haven't maxed all of them, but all of them are effective to do what I do, which is my Strange New World Officers are like my secondary and tertiary PvE crews. So they do perfectly fine for what I need them. I could still pull that if I wanted to. In fact, let me go ahead and start doing our daily clicks, but I don't. Are they increasing Syndicate levels next month? Logic dictates they are, as I've got more XP in the last month than previous 6 months. So, again, obviously, I can't just tell y'all things that happen. But I would say it would make a lot of sense that they're selling better Syndicate packs. They're giving way more Syndicate XP. That Syndicate levels would be increasing. It also should be noted, I don't know how many VIPs we currently have here in the chat, but there's like, what, 300 of y'all, so I'm sure there's at least one VIP here. VIP CMs recently reminded everybody that if you've maxed out Syndicate already, if you're still collecting Syndicate points, those will roll over into any future Syndicate levels that will be released. So, it would seem the easy bet to say at some point in the near future, Syndicate is increasing. So, yeah. Maxing the Mantis for Refiner rewards is a must do. Agreed. And I'm working on maxing my Mantis now. But it's something that I stopped doing for months. So my Mantis is probably behind a lot of players around my levels Mantis. Now, if you're like a level 30 something player, sure, my Mantis is probably higher. But if you're anywhere from level, I'd say 45 to 55, your Mantis might be higher than mine. My Mantis is tier 8. If you have a higher tier Mantis, feel free to shout it out. My Mantis is only tier 8, and I've had it since it came out. It's quite possible that if you're in the chat right now between 45 and 55, you've significantly passed me. Viper and Corey have already maxed theirs, right? Lyco's at tier 11. As I hear, max theirs out. Elvin max theirs out. So that's where my Syndicate XP has fallen behind, right? Wicked maxed theirs out. Ryan's at tier 10. Lazarus at tier 10. Tenacious tier 9. Adam tier 9. So again, that's one of the reasons why I actually like the marathon event, because I did see some people complaining like, why is there not more uncommons? I'm not saying that uncommons aren't something that the game needs. We all want more uncommons and rares and ship parts, but at the same time, there's needs for other currencies. And Syndicate XP, I think, is one of those, because I say it all the time. If you come to a content creator stream, you're a diehard, you're a donut, right? You're better at the game, likely, than most people on your server and across the game. You dedicate your time to finding ways to be better. Just like how we talked about, 2 years ago, how only like 6% of the game had maxed Vidars. I promise you, half the game has not maxed their Mantis. Most people are probably like I'm at, either low tier or haven't maxed it, or maybe haven't even unlocked it yet. So then you have things like this have a lot of value to a lot of people, including myself. So different currencies can have different values, different players. And again, I absolutely love tier up catalysts, even though I want more tier up cats. So Wyko says I just need something to waste time at work. No, Wyko, just admit the truth. You love me, you're obsessed with me, and you want to have my babies. And I appreciate it. Thank you for being here and loving me. I really do appreciate it. Edward says I'm totally loving the events, and that's good feedback. I don't think these events are perfect. If I had to give these events as a whole a grade, I would say that Eco's first run, the Summer Games, I would give a solid B, depending on the player, as low as a C. Here's why. Marathon is kind of a D. Only reason I give it that grade is it wasn't properly labeled, and I don't feel like the rewards in the middle are very good. I feel like the rewards at the bottom and at the top are great. The middle rewards are not good at all. So you have to trudge through a lot to get back to great. I feel like the bronze, silver, gold stuff was all very good. I do think there needs to be adjustments. I did really push for domination events to have ship XP and officer XP to make it easier for everybody to complete, especially because it's technically 4 straight days of domination. And I feel like the meta was just kind of meh. Overall, I think it was a good run. And everybody else you could throw y'all's letter grade in there. And if you disagree, feel free. Don't feel like you have to agree with me. If you think it's an F, put an F. But put your letter grade in the chat for what you think this month was. All right, we'll put chat back on the screen. Y'all in chat, there's 300 of y'all. Everybody put your letter grade for these set of events. See, Andy says T for trash. Andy just is never happy, but that's okay. Brandon says B+, Sand says B+, Elvin an A, Rich C, Gara B, Scott B+, A, C, B, B+. Yes, we like letters, Erwin. We like letters. Erwin gives it a 6 out of 10. That would be about a D in a grading scale. B, B, C minus, C, C, B minus, B to A minus C. M for meh. Thank you, Private Piles. B, A, B, A minus, C+. I mean, generally speaking, these are good grades, right? Or technically right here. If that's how most players feel, that means that it's not perfect. It needs tweaking, but it's certainly better than other runs that we've had, other styles that we've had, right? Yesh is actually the first F besides the Andy's T that I've seen. And not to say that Andy and Yesh's opinions don't matter, but if only 2 or 3 people in a group of 300 are saying F, that means the event did some things right. I personally loved how he specifically did PvP, right? I really appreciate that. I think that was good for PvE and PvP players. I think domination could use some tweaking, and hostile hunting is hostile hunting. It was pretty easy except for Sigma players. So yeah, overall, I think we definitely moved in a good direction here, and I would love to see more things like this going forward. Yeah, be nice. It's an extra event that gives stuff. Free stuff is free stuff. Well, yeah, free is free. Elvin says, as a non-PvP player, I participated in this PvP and enjoyed it. And I think, because you just had 2 straight people who said the same thing. 2 people who don't like PvP enjoyed this PvP. I mean, I think that's a massive win. I really can't understate how big that is. That is a huge win. Because, no offense, non-PvP players can be some of the most honorary, crudgety, old, grumpy men and women in the world. Like, oh my God, you made my pixels blow up. And if they can say this was good, you know you did something right. You know you did something right for an event. So that's good. That's good. Replicate that. Where's our farming event? That's Mining Monday, Viper. You got your farming event. It was Mining Monday. Go farm. Go farm. They just dropped off the galactic portion. But see, Primo, I love the galactic portion. Here's why. I explained it earlier, but there's nothing wrong with go back into the event. I believe this is the perfect balance for everybody. Why is it the perfect balance for everybody? Because if you are a PvE player, cool. Go into the system, easy peasy. You can do it really quickly. If you're a PvP player, you can go across the galaxy, but the only thing that scores, explorers, battleships, interceptors. So like if I want to go around and pop people for having their warships out because I'm a PvPer and I want to find conflict, cool, but I get nothing for annoying you for mining. Nothing at all. So I'm not incentivized to go bug you mining, but I am incentivized to go bug you, you know, because you decide to leave your, you know, pylum sitting around in a system. I think that's good. I like that. Most people are going to choose the easy option. So I think it's a win-win, and it's not very often that we get win-win PvP events, right? Remember the galaxy-wide purge leaderboard that we had? That to me is a bad PvP event. I think this is a great PvP event. Again, my opinion. I don't want to make it sound like my opinion is the only one that matters, but I do think it's pretty rare that we have a good balance. And this one had a much balance. a much better balance than, you know, PvP events we've had this year. So, either kill them with your disco. If you, first off, I can kill a lot of things with my disco, but show the true strength across the galaxy or head to way. This is anything. You can use your pylum to go kill pylums for this part, or you can just get bonus points for using your discovery. You didn't have to use the discovery. The discovery just gave you bonus points in this system. That was the easy option. So, again, I think it's a good balance. I am leaving the feedback up here because I don't want it to just be me. I want anybody to see any feedback they want. I realize it's really small, but y'all gotta remember, when you replay live streams on YouTube, you can see the chat on like that side of the screen. But yeah, I think that definitely things I would tweak. Lee says you make a fair point. The targeted PvP was good, and the cheap ships could involve everyone. They should have just left the rest of the galaxy element out. But again, Lee, I think it's good for players to have both options, right? Because PvP players deserve to have a game, right? That's why they get incursion events. So if they want to go around and, you know, just pop into a random system and hit something, that's fine. That's why you take miners off the table. So that's why, to me, it's the best of both worlds. It's for PvP people and PvE people, where everybody can enjoy some level of PvP. And it's not like the milestones are high anyway. I mean, it takes you, what, 2 or 3 minutes to finish this event? I was actually expecting the milestones to be much higher. Not that I want Eco to hear that and make the milestones higher next time. I just think that these were very easy to complete. So. Characters were not made for PvP. The score in PvP is weighted. It is. Hypo. Raiding is PvP. Raiding is part of PvP. I don't know why. Raiding is literally PvP. Why when Arc event runners come up with a good overall event, why don't the other Arc runners use it in their events when it's clearly a win for event style? That one I can't really answer. That's more of a question for live ops. Maybe we can bring a few different live ops on the stream sometime and y'all can ask them that. So I can't really answer that. I mean, I will say that there are different live ops styles. So there are 2 live ops guys that I know who are very heavy PvP people. And their vision of PvP is very different than even my vision of PvP is. They come from different gaming backgrounds. They come from things like EVE Online styles and Escape from Tarkov styles. Very different style of PvP games. Much harsher PvP games. Right? Then you have different Arc runners who are the opposite of me in terms of they're very PvE only players. There are people who design events who don't PvP at all. They don't care for it. They don't do it. They don't raid, none of it. And they literally enjoy unlocking the next miner. Those people exist. So there's also different styles of Arc runners that, you know, just because Eco might be this style doesn't mean the next one is, and people are going to naturally do things their way. I'm a good example of that. Even though I am the largest YouTube content creator for this game, I have a style of gameplay, right? Everybody out there knows that. There are plenty of people here in the chat who don't even agree with me on my style of gameplay, but still enjoy the content because it's educational and informative, etc. So that's just an element of people being people, right? Gita says PvP and STFC isn't PvP. Sorry, I just disagree. It doesn't matter if you can argue it's not fair, but that doesn't make it not PvP. Yeah, I'm an evil pirate, and I'm okay with it. I'm a friendly pirate. I do leave out my ship's OPC to be hit, right? I don't care if you take stuff from me. I'm going to take stuff from you. But yeah, most people aren't Rev the pirate, and that's okay. Love listening to you, but don't tell your girlfriend. I will tell your girlfriend. I'm going to tell your girlfriend all the things. You're here for the gingerness? Thank you. Thank you. The power gain was more of a pain than the PvP. Yeah, I do think the power gain, like even me, I've not finished the power gain yet. Power gain is actually a little bit of a struggle for me because the only researches I have left are either mat ones that I don't want to do, or they're like really, really low paying researches. So I have to do a ton of them to, I'll just speed through a ton of them to get what I'm looking for. But I will complete it. So Dave says, enjoyed the summer game events, easy to complete and okay rewards. Would have preferred officers in the first 4 milestones for spin event and have skipped it as a result. And see, Dave, I'm the opposite. I would much rather have had the Syndicate XP than the 25 hue shards. But that doesn't make your opinion wrong. I just think that we're at a point where like different things will have different value to different players. And I think that's okay. But like, I wouldn't have done it at all if that Syndicate wasn't there at the very bottom. So it is definitely going to vary based on where you are at and what you're looking for as a player. X-Borg research, I can do some and I will do some, Andy. But I've only recently been able to really do X-Borg research. I can do some of these turn-ins. The reason I've only been able to recently do X-Borg research is because I've been spending all that time working on upgrading the NX-01 and using all my turn-ins for other boxes. Now that I have my NX-01 above tier 6, I can very easily farm more credits thanks to farming the battleships. So now that is reasonable for me to actually start really investing in those things as I go through all my remnants. Speaking of random things, Scopely, please add a slider to this. This is annoying. The other night I had like 2,000 that I had to go through. I just sat there clicking for a good 20-30 minutes on stream, going through all of those. It's just really annoying. But working on maxing out the O'Brien dartboard right now. Yay. Working on maxing that out. Speaking of, can I... All right, not yet. I still got time. 4 hours before I can do that pull. Let's go back and finish my refineries. Sliders are needed everywhere. 100% agree. Jesus, 100%. I need 20 more dolomite particles to be able to scrap jelly at a net positive. That's awesome, Ken. That is fantastic. And I agree, Robert. Actually, Major Samo, another one of our content creators, brought up that point. Those should automatically convert to remnants, like transporter pattern dust does. It should not be a manual exchange every time. 100% agree with you. Major Samo brought that up. I do like shouting out our other creators because a lot of other people do amazing things. Completely agree. But until that happens, at least they can do is add a slider. At minimum, add a heckin' slider. At minimum, we can add a heckin' slider. Let me go ahead and do these. I'm going to do our dust pull. And I will do a 50 pull here and get more uncommon rift keys. We're going to need to do that for this month because it's another MU month. Is there a way to filter research by the prime currency they need to complete? There is not, Tom. We do have numerous charts and different resources to find those. For example, let me pull up one of the spreadsheets because who doesn't love spreadsheets? Everybody here loves spreadsheets. All of you do. Here is an example of one of the spreadsheets that is in my Discord. Give me just a second and I will put it on the screen. Don't be impatient. Don't be impatient. Don't be impatient. And bloop. So this is in my Discord. So like if you wanted to see, these are some of the free-to-play ones right here. The Prime Dolomite and the Prime Orbit Medallion. This tells you where they're at, how much they cost, and what ones you can get completely free to play. So again, this is in my Discord. If you need any help finding this, just ping me or ping any of the volunteers. This was put together by Silvis, and I've worked with him on this for several months now. We also push this to the overlords to get more of the primes free to play. But if you're curious about all that, we do have this because there is no way to look it up in game, but we do have the ability to look it up here with spreadsheets. So if you don't have this, well, another annoying reminder to join the Discord. I know I mentioned it a lot, but that's just because Discord and Facebook is how I communicate with most of y'all. So y'all can hit me up either way. You can hit me up on Discord or you can hit me up on Facebook. Either way, I'll send you the link to the spreadsheet so that y'all can use it for yourself. You play STFC for the spreadsheets? Yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, this game is a lot like EVE Online, and that is one of the ways. Graphically, not on the scale of EVE Online, but in the terms of the needs of spreadsheets, very much an EVE Online style game, which a lot of 4X games can be that way. So again, not a unique thing to Scopely. Not a unique thing to Scope. Just might be a unique thing to you. Because I've learned that not everybody who is playing this game now has played these type of games. It's a new experience for a lot of people. So Go ahead and do my clicks. And by the way, y'all mentioning primes reminds me I need to go do wave defenses. So when are we getting in-game spreadsheets? Oh yeah, that's what everybody wants. In-game spreadsheets. Oh, that sounds amazing. Somebody ban Sugar Fat Man from ever speaking again. Oh gosh. No. No. Gross. All right. Mantis. A double pull. I don't think that gives me enough to upgrade, but we'll go check. I would love to take my Mantis to another tier. Because like we just talked about, I'm behind. And that should be everything else I can pull right now. It is... Oh, nope. Almost forgot. Ah, crap. All right, so we got to take the Gorn Eviscerator out. I'm going to go take the Gorn Eviscerator out. So we can go do that real quick. So close. Always things to do. Working on maxing and scrapping at my ISS Jelly. I've started the efficiency research. You said they need to be max. It's not max, Nate, but they need to both be minimum tier 6, where when you scrap an ISS Jelly, you're getting more in return than what you paid for. All right, does that make sense? Getting more in return than what you paid for. Let's go here. You know what? Screw it. I never used that dust for anything else. Might as well insta jump. And let's see, can upgrade. Maybe. Nope, not tomorrow. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. We can take it up to the next level. But if you hop in here, just to show you what researchers I'm talking about, they are free to playable now. If you go into the station tree, with all the other, again, this is technically, it might not be 6 for you. It could be 7. It depends on what other researchers you have. But these two right here, you get them tiered up enough, the ISS Jelly becomes essentially a 4-star material farm. So they don't need to be maxed, but they do need to be sufficiently tiered. All right, we go click. All right. Which scrapping was available for all ships? I mean, that's fair, Bernard. I completely agree. And the higher level you go, the less important scrapping becomes, sadly. How's the wife feeling? She's doing better. She actually has a doctor's appointment today. She is getting home hopefully within the hour. I actually need to text her, see if there's an update. Sadly, one of her drains came out, and it's been causing her a lot of pain and problems. So, hey, Connor, how you doing? How you doing? I'm saying EVE Online added access to spreadsheets in game. Did they? I only did EVE Echo, so, but I know a lot about EVE Online. What crew to use for Gorn? I mean, generally just run a hostile crew. I could be more efficient than I am, but I'm running Enterprise E Picard, Enterprise E Data, Janeway with things below decks. So, but I mean, there are definitely more efficient ways for me to do this. How you doing, Laroma? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Why is the Elite Recruit token redeem on 24-hour cooldown when everything else is on 22? I don't have that answer, Kinslayer. That's a really random question. Not a bad question, but random. Random. Irwin? I mean, that's what I've been doing. I've actually missed a lot of game time. I've missed a lot of stream time because I've been doing a very heavy caregiver role with my kids and my wife the past 2 weeks, as well as trying to maintain my work schedule. So that's why I've been in and out a lot more, which apologies for that, but I am trying to get things to stabilize hopefully in the next month or two. You got the Golden Pickle BP now, but can't build it because I'm still off 39, going after the ISS Jelly. Good, Grim. Good. It's good to have those ready. I love that you already have the Gilded Pickle ready to go. You have the... Where's your Voyager and Talios at? Any word on adding G5 to the AT sword? Nope. Last time I asked, I got told a firm no, not now. And that was a couple months ago. So... let's see. She responded. That means that she's alive. Summer Games blah. So, Connie, you don't like the Summer Games? We actually just got done going through, what was it, y'all? We just spent about an hour discussing the Summer Games, and most of the feedback was, I would say, pretty positive from everybody, but obviously tweaking definitely could happen. What were your particular pain points? What were your particular pain points? Any plans for 4th of July? No. I'm not even buying fireworks because I've been spending all the money on like babysitters and stuff. If y'all want to donate firework money, look, it's not required, but donate links there, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. If y'all want to support me, my wife, my 3 kids. Content creators cannot do what we do without people like y'all donating. Believe it or not, YouTube ads don't pay that much. So greatly appreciate anybody who considers that. Thank you very, very much. If y'all would like to support my family, there are the links to do so. You got lots of ships to upgrade. Nice for the next event. I mean, sure, but do I want to upgrade all of those? Like, do I want to take my pylum up? Like, you're right. Technically, I could upgrade a couple pieces, but I only have so many rare interceptor parts. So I could do 2 upgrades there. Erwin, thank you very much for these €6. I greatly appreciate you supporting me and the kids. Thank you very much. And by the way, if you can't donate, the best thing that you can do is get more people to come to the channel, invite your alliance, invite your server. We can answer their questions and they can subscribe as well. Pylum to the moon. I mean, I will max it eventually. I just don't have the ship parts to consider it now. Like, I actually did a little bit of my board cube for this meta event. And then I'm going to save these last remaining upgrades I have for when an officer SLB comes around, just to see if I can maybe get the SMS. So if it's an XSLB, I just straight ignore those. SLBs, I do contribute to. I do contribute to SLBs. XSLBs tend to just get put on the back burner. Lucas, thank you so much for the €5. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm glad the videos are helping you out, man. Really am. Brian, trying to finish upgrading my pylons by getting all the rare ship parts. Yes. Rare ship parts are probably the biggest bottleneck that a 4-star player and even a 5-star player is going to run into that isn't spending on packs. There are plenty of bottlenecks. There are no limits to the bottlenecks that exist. But I'm telling you that that is one of the biggest, if not worst. Just got a PayPal here, so I want to make sure I shout out the person donating to my family. Shout out to Andrew. Thank you so much. It's whatever you want to put it towards. Truthfully, it goes a lot to bills, but it's very much appreciated. Thank you so much to all those who are doing that. I get PayPal notifications directly to my phone, so thank you. Pylum is my main ship for Gorn due to the loot boost. Great idea. Does way better than the Corvus at lower repair costs. Yeah. The only reason I don't use my Pylum is, honestly, I get so annoyed moving ships around, and my Tribune has become my primary. But my Pylum is definitely better than any other ship I have for normal ISO matter. There is that research that y'all can invest in for the Gorn to make the Gorn Eviscerator better at it, but I'm spending those materials to upgrade the Gorn Eviscerator instead. So my Gorn Eviscerator is still a little baby. It ain't that small, I guess. But I haven't done any of the research, but I got a tier 4 Gorn Eviscerator. And as you tier it up, it will get more proficient at going and getting the regular ISOs. Like my wife said. All right. My wife said the doctor was happy with the work and said that her drain was fine. I hope he's giving her something for the pain. Also, Kinky Jesus, thank you. Kinky Jesus loves donating to the stream so that he can ruin people's OCD. I do have to manually put them in, so give me just a second, Kinky Jesus. I know you particularly love doing this, so give me just a second. Put this in so it can ruin everybody's day. Log in. Gosh. Kinky G. First off, a wild name that I'm even scared to say on YouTube. Usually we only say that on Twitch, but that is your name. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in so that everybody can see your OCD craziness. Thank you very much. And I'm waiting for my wife to text back. I want to give you all the full update. Doctor, he's again meeting with doctor. All right, so there's that one in. So there's Kinky Jesus messing with the OCD. And also thank you to Bernard. Don't want to dox you and say your last name because you're obviously a very famous person, but thank you very much. Also just added yours in. Thank you for supporting me and my kids. Tier 9 Pylum, 1 trip every day, lets me full pull. So my goal with Gorn is I tend to only do Gorn about twice a week, and I get enough to do multiple pulls for each different set. So I just got Only 4. I just tiered mine up. So I only got 4 days worth here. I got 4 days there of pulls for Apex, and then I'll go out with the Tribune and I'll grind the other ones. So close to taking Nurse Chapel to the next tier, by the way. So close to taking Nurse Chapel to the next tier. Oh, that's getting good. That's getting good. And nowhere close to getting to tier 5 here. All right, yeah, wife says she's fine. So she's on her way back home. What ship skin is better for the Augur, the Apex one, or from the Amalgam Refinery? Well, Eugene, I don't know if you know this, but you don't have to choose. Every skin you get adds up. So skins do not only have an effect when they're applied. I know that is a common misconception. I'm not even saying you have this misconception, but just for the sake of everybody knowing, all skins that you unlock, all refits you unlock, all projectiles are researches. So they're instantly active. It's like if you unlocked, like I say, if I went somehow got the Polaron beam, I now have that 20% of base damage versus Borg enemies, regardless of whether or not a ship is wearing the Polaron beam. Same thing with ship skins, right? So if you get the Augur skin, like the Augur refit, the salvage refit right there, and you also get, where's another one? I've already got one unlocked, don't I? No, I don't have one of the Augur ones unlocked. Where's another one? No, I'll just use the Enterprise because they're right here. Let's say I've got the TOS Enterprise skin and I've got the Salvager refit. Both of those bonuses are immediately active, regardless of whether I'm wearing them or not. So keep that in mind as well. So you don't have to pick and choose. You don't have to wear a certain one. I only ever wear skins just simply for the cosmetics. That's it. Just for the cosmetics. Congrats on maxing your Mantis research, Elvedin. That's awesome. How do you get the Salvager refit for Enterprise? The Salvager refit is through the Thursday events on Apex. Apex event store. So you go into your Apex Outlaw event store, which is always up. Here you go. Right there. Sourcing for the D4, Augur, and Enterprise salvage skins. Talios is a tier 3, has all upgrades except the transwarp coil due to not being Ops 40 plus, obviously. Voyager's nearly max. The only thing I need is the coaxial warp drive, still Ops 40 to claim it. Nice. So you're doing really well, Grim. Doing really well. What's the second best hostile crew for waves? I guess it depends on what level you are. Generally speaking, my second hostile for me is a speed crew. So I'll bring like my Talios out with a speed crew and do it that way. Sorry, my phone buzzed again from PayPal, so I want to make sure. Shout out to Sherlock. Thank you so much. Get those kids some of the snake fireworks. Thank you so much, Sherlock. I appreciate you supporting me and my family very much. Thank you. I can't say thank y'all to y'all enough because y'all are being very generous today. So big thank you to all of you. I'm going to put this on the screen, Sherlock. Nobody has fixed Stinky Jesus's ridiculousness, but thank you very much. Why don't they have all the skins for sale all the time? That's a great question, Andy. One I don't have an answer to. If you really want me to, I can bring it up to the overlords. But I don't know. I don't know why they do that. So now Kinslayer says they use Enterprise E, Riker, Tau, and Nero / Georgiou for the second crew for the Talios to kill Actians with it and surveys. That's fine if you want. Yeah, mix things around. Try to do 2 different things at once. Speed mixed in with a little bit of damage. Nothing wrong with that at all as a strategy. Also, almost forgot, today is Cerritos Day. It's Wednesday. I need to do Cerritos boosting. So why don't we use this as an opportunity to do a 2-for-1 here? And what we're going to do is we're going to put Pipe Road Chin on. And we're going to do some Q trials real quick. And see how far we can get. We'll do some Q trials and we'll use a Cerritos and our Titan for boosting. All right, let's just do strength now. Real quick, let's find strength. So yes, if anybody asks, for my biggest punch ups, I will just use Pipe Road Chin. And I don't know if y'all saw this video, but the biggest key for really boosting how high you're making it in Q's trials, FTs are great, like your Metreon Cascade, but boosting is honestly the biggest key. So doing your Talios and your Cerritos research is going to help you go much, much higher. So we'll get all 3 of these out. Launch one. How high do we want to try to punch? That's a big Actian. I don't know if I want to fool with that big Actian. That might be a little bit too big. How about these though? We can do the Belosian cruisers and stuff here in the 4-star one pretty easily. So let's go ahead and send the ships here, and then we'll just boost the Tribune. And then after that, we'll hit as many as we can hit. As many as we can hit. What happened with the servers last night that made it go poo? There was just a lag spike. I think they made an announcement about it in the middle of the night. Short answer is there was a lag spike. I do need to give a thank you to Daniel. It says, just for the fun of it, supporting Rev. Thank you so much, Daniel, for also donating to me and my 3 kids, as well as my very expensive wife. If anybody has a wife, I just described a normal wife, but it's the only one I have, and it's the only one I probably ever will have, so I'm going to call her expensive. It's the only frame of reference I have. So, where is the Tribune? Okay, you were just cloaked somehow, even though you don't have cloaking. So I'm going to do max fortification. That'll finish that daily. And then we'll do this boost. And now we start hitting. Hey, Omicron, great to see you. Great to see you. Lag spike less ever hours? Yes. Yes. I could go see if I can find the announcement. Let's go take a look. I'm pretty sure they made an announcement about it. Yeah, the ongoing lag issues with US and some EU and APAC servers have been escalated to the team. We understand your frustration, appreciate your patience, blah, 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 blah. Pretty sure it was another, well, I'm not going to say what I think it was because I don't have it confirmed. But yeah, it happened like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. It lasted for a few hours. It was obviously painful, but your wife's having surgery on Monday. William, prayers and positive love and thoughts to your wife. As someone who just had their wife go through a lot of stuff, completely get that, can empathize, and nothing but positivity, love, and prayers your way. Don't know who that is trying to call me. Probably scam/spam. Scam/spam. All right, let's go kill this Actian. And as you can see, I'm very easily clearing hostiles significantly above my Tribune's power just by the boosting. All right, so this is why I really encourage people in that video to focus on things like boosting. Our new transporter pattern officer is coming soon. I don't have an ETA of when, but the short answer is yes. Short answer is yes. They will be. This was an Eco arc? Yeah, this was Eco's week. This was actually Eco's first time running events. So he ran the events this week. The summer games are all the creation of Eco. So I really wanted to dedicate this stream to him, to getting him solid feedback, whether it be good or bad. I'm very happy for him, and honestly for the game, that most of the feedback has been positive, but yeah, this was Eco's first run. Did not have too much to complain about other than not unlocking any officers. Well, okay, so this was his week. This event was his week. His first week doing events. So I'm not an IA because, well, I don't want to use my wife's surgery as an excuse, but IA has certain rules about being in certain systems prior to incursions. I was not paying attention to the Discord because real life, and I wasn't in the proper place. So they do a lot of booting and looting. So is what it is. No big deal. They were fine. You like the events? Good. That's better than some of the other things that you've said, Laromi. So I will take that. That's a positive. All right, we're going to push up to the 840s. You know what? We might as well just go as high as we can. Why not? I mean, we're running it. I've got 5,000 Q trial bells. So why not go as high as I can go? We were teammates for almost 6 hours. We were, Adam? When? He did come on Discord, ask about the events. He did. Again, I think that Eco is really trying to make events that, that make as many people as happy as possible. I think the marathon's a great example. Regardless of whether it's a pay event or not, talking about just the low end of the milestones. We had some people here, like myself, who loved the Syndicate pack to the bottom. Other people said that they refused to do it because it wasn't officers. And I think neither of those answers are wrong. I think it's impossible to make an event set that everybody likes. But if you can make a group of events like Summer Games that the majority likes, that's a good run. I do absolutely agree it should have been labeled Kobayashi Maru. Should have been a bit of each resource each tier. Is he forgotten? I am a big against that. If that was the case, I wouldn't have done it at all. Because that means I wouldn't have gotten any value. It means I would have had to gotten the entire marathon to have gotten value. So I wouldn't have done it at all. But that's just me. Obviously, you would have done things differently. Is bonus finder coming next week? I reached out about that. I'm waiting to hear back. So I gave them a friendly nudge to remind them about the bonus refinery. And I'm waiting to hear back. I actually will ping them again about it. I will ping them again about it. All right, claim. Just keep going. I wonder how high we can go. This is all on one set of boost. Domination point system was my only gripe. Yeah. And I definitely see why that's a gripe. So I think that's as high as we're, you know what? I could definitely beat a 500 mil freebooter. So let's do that. And I'm getting pretty far. In this 4-star run. I'm not even a G5 player. Pretty proud of myself. All right, what's the next one that's going to spawn? All right, another one biller. I'll blow up against it, but I'm probably not going to beat this. But I got 5,000 Q trial bells, so who cares? Who cares? Did I win? Nope. Finally went boom. But that's okay. We got plenty of progress. And I got 20 bells back, so it all worked out. All right, so let's do our claims. Click, 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 click. A claim all or a checkbox system would be great here. Now, I will say having a claim all for this would be problematic for me because I don't want to claim Federation stuff. But if I could have like a little checkbox right here, like just set, like preset every day, I can tell it which ones I wanted checked. Like I could do check all and then uncheck the ones I want to do and then hit claim. Anything that lessens my clicks from having to do this would be great. It'd be absolutely fantastic. All right, so we still got to do freebooters. Yeah. Presets like the officers to an extent. I say that as somebody who doesn't use presets, but I do realize like a lot of people do use the presets. Are you not in the base? Where were you? Where are you? Excuse me, ma'am? Where were you this whole time? Where did you go? Okay, whatever. We're just going to get this boosted because we need to for the event. Now we're going to go hit some... Oh, we need to... Crap. Well, I'm going to go hit with PMC instead of wasting that boost. Checkbox is the best option so you don't claim the wrong rep. Agreed. If they wanted the checkbox system on the website and outside of the app, it would be better. Maybe. Bad crew video. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a bad crew, but oh well. My below decks will carry enough for me to be able to win. It'll be okay. I just don't want to waste my boost, man. You ever feel like you're wasting the juice? I don't want to waste the juice. I don't want to waste the juice, man. I don't want to waste it. Wish we had a 6-star bonus refinery. Oh, you went to Sigma and now you were wanting things. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a year. Forgot, you know how it works, man. Maybe one day. At least the Sigma tax got removed. Oh, I've forgotten. I'll probably beat the 55s fine, even though I'm running PMC. You gotta remember that I've got Blana Torres, Hugh, Nurse Chapel, Tom Paris below decks. I'll probably beat these, and I'm Cerritos boosted. PMC is not a good crew for this, but I'm sure I'll be able to complete my daily. Now, I might die, but we'll see. Let's go hit this one. See what happens. Yeah, see, I told you I'd be fine. I I am feeling a little bit better, William. It's been a rough couple weeks, honestly, health-wise. The entire house has just been sick, and then I've just been exhausted because I've been not getting much sleep, taking care of everything, but it is getting a little bit better. Now that we're about, I think tomorrow is 2 weeks post-surgery. So, I think tomorrow is 2 weeks. If you can win with Mbenga, you still wouldn't? I mean, sure. There's going to be somebody who screenshots Rev doing this with PMC and trash talks me, but I consider it like an OCD thing. I can't waste the boost. Like, I can't bring it in myself to waste the boost. I can't do it. I can't. I'm a terrible person. I'm a terrible person. We want G5 and resources to help us progress, or at least an officer that's worth something, more than 10 shards. Summer events were good, but all the rewards are pretty crap. Some Syndicate XP and Independent Credits are nice, but the 5 milestones give 10 shards. I mean, I do agree that the meta could have been Enterprise-y data, and that would have been better, but I don't think the rewards are crap. 120-ish thousand Syndicate XP is not crap, if you're talking about the marathon. If you're talking about these, this is still not crap either. This is a good amount of Syndicate XP compared to what events used to pay. For something that you're probably going to complete just doing your daily hostile grind. Independent credits, I'm not griping about getting 2,000 independent credits, especially because the average player needs all those for things like, you know, the Borg officers. We always need more of that. I can't gripe about that. Tier up catalyst, even then, I think this is a little bit low, but still, those are very valuable resources. I can always argue that there needs to be more, but I definitely don't think bad choices were made. I definitely can't say that. Someone screenshot and posted the Bad Crew video channel. You should have forgotten. Always shame your favorite content creators. It's the best way to ensure they get better. Always shame us. That way I can go cry in the corner and make sure I stay humble. Make sure I stay humble. What tier is my Tribune? Tier 9. I've got a tier 9 Tribune, and it's probably going to stay tier 9 for the foreseeable future. Events got you to Syndicate 30? Yeah, they got me to Syndicate 32. Like I said, I'm playing a lot of catch up compared to other people. So, it was super good to me. Free is free and more is more. This was more for free, so what the heck is wrong with that? I agree. I do agree that just because something's free doesn't mean that it's always at an appropriate level. But I feel like the Syndicate event was an appropriate level. I feel like the independent credits was good. I do feel like the tier up cats was low. And I'm comparing that to other things. Like, when I say the tier up catalysts are low, it's because I get more tier up catalysts by doing a pull MIX Borg every day, right? So I'm comparing it to something. Whereas my pulls every day for independent credits are not more than 2,000 independent credits. So I will say that the independent credit one was good for that reason. I will say the tier up catalyst one was not as good for that reason. It's always compared to something else in game when I'm talking with Scopely. So it's not just like, oh, well, Rev just wants free stuff. No, I'm going to compare it to something that already exists so that we can have a reference point. The tier up catalyst, in my opinion, is too low because I can get more tier up catalyst doing this thing. But I can't get 2,000 independent credits doing any pull. There's no pull I can do that gives me 2,000 independent credits. So I will say yes. Independent credits, good. Tier up catalyst, need more. That's my logic for how I do a lot of those style of feedbacks. And not everybody, I'm not even telling y'all to agree with it. I'm just letting y'all know the methodology. I've got so many different things. You know what? I actually need to look if I can upgrade the NX-01. Nope. Still can't. Because I need to get all those weapons upgraded. All right, so let's repair this. And then we'll change the cruise real quick before anybody notices that Rev is an idiot. Nobody noticed that Rev's an idiot. See? Nothing ever happened. Nothing was ever wrong. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Have been getting through Syndicate faster? Are they planning more Syndicate or just realizing it was slow? More than likely, they're planning more. Obviously, can't confirm or deny any knowledge I may or may not have. Just saying, seems like they'd be planning for more by the amount that they're paying out in both events and packs. All right. So let's see. Can this upgrade? No. Oh, I need to do the refinery. Always forget about that refinery. Always forget about it. We'll double pull the Cerritos refinery real quick. And we'll pull this. We shall pull all the things. All the things. And last but not least, right here. Done. Titan parts. FinTech. If there's anything for me to pull here. Yeah, because I don't have enough to get my Borg nano plating. All right. Yeah, we're good. Gosh, I really want this. Look at these refineries, man. I want them. I don't want to buy these. I don't want to buy these. I want them. Anyway, sorry. I'm ranting. When you get 10 to 15,000 Syndicate XP a day and 1.3 independent per day, having a small boost in an event is nice, but nothing to celebrate. These paid out gas, crystal, ore be a lot nicer. And see, Joe, I just disagree because you get a lot of, I mean, if we're talking rare stuff, sure. But it does depend on what level you're at. You mentioned G5. Well, G5, especially upper G5, is still a pain point part of the game, as in there's an expected spin level. I get anywhere from 3 to 5,000 uncommon a day. I would much rather have tier up catalysts that I don't get a lot of. I'd much rather have, you know, ship parts that I don't get a lot of, rare ones particularly. You know, I mean, here's what, 1,700 right there. Like, that's sure. Uncommons are good, but it's not a universal truth that everybody wants more uncommons. I mean, I literally just pulled 3,000 uncommons right here. That's one thing. That's not all the other thing. That's one thing. Let's pull 3,000. It's definitely true that everybody is always needing materials, but you also need Syndicate XP because Syndicate XP has a lot of value. Syndicate will make everything cheaper and make everything stronger. I think that people lose sight of how valuable things like FTs can be and Syndicate can be because you don't see the immediate effect. A lot of those things are long-term effects, whereas uncommons are obvious. Like I immediately need 20,000 uncommon to upgrade this building. I immediately need 6,000 uncommon to upgrade the ship part. That's an immediate thing. But getting down your Syndicate matters. Getting down here and having more overall damage up to 800% per generator matters, right? That's going to greatly improve what you can do and grind. And even improve your PvP. Repair cost efficiency. Definitely big for any of the Sigma people up there. They eat that stuff up. Things that increase my faction rewards. That has great long-term benefit. Do you want to reach those levels? It's not just uncommons. And I think because uncommons are so obvious, like you see them immediately every day that we need those, you can lose sight of the fact that things like Syndicate, anytime you can get more Syndicate, that is good for your long-term gameplay. That is very, very good. So, isn't Syndicate kind of power creep at this point? I mean, everything is power creep, right? Yes, power creep's a problem, but at the same time, more is more. And you will notice yourself being behind if you don't have certain things. What did I say we needed to grind? I done forgot. Heck and heck. I could just boost it for the... What did I say we were going to grind? I felt like I said that we were going to grind something. My brain has ceased functionality. I don't know. I do need to do waves, but I'm going to join an alliance later today for that. I've already done silence. You know what? We're going to go look for traders because I can't remember what I was going to do. Saying you have the best feature in the game, the claim all button. Yes, you nailed it. You don't mind the power creep helps Gaia grow faster. I mean, there are benefits to power creep. I want to be very careful how I word things. So let me give you an example. I was actually having this conversation with somebody earlier. This is a screenshot from about 2 years ago. I think I was level 46-ish here. So I'm not too far away. I might have been a little bit lower, but I want to show you something. This is what power creep has done. There are some ways that power creep is okay. Some reason it's bad. In PvP, power creep is almost always going to be exclusively bad. But take a look at this screenshot real quick. I'm going to put it on the screen. Be patient, everybody. I'm going to try to get the annoying Ginger off the screen, but I don't think I can. I have to deal with the annoying Ginger. He's going to be slightly behind me, kind of like creeping. All right. So this is a USS Newton. Tier 1. Look at its overall power. This is a couple years ago. It's not that far ago. Very creepy Ginger guy. Ignore him. But look at the power of this Newton. Right? Power of the Newton. 5.7 million to build it. Now keep in mind that I'm in the 40s here. I'm a G4 player at the time of this screenshot. Here's where I'm at now. Now keep in mind that now I am 4 levels higher. I will acknowledge that. But now that same ship that I still haven't built is 32.9 million. Now what that means to your gameplay is you're going to defeat hostiles at 46 that I could not defeat easily. You're coming out of the gate significantly stronger. Now, at the same time, the gap between high levels and free to play, like the ability to fight, has definitely grown to a gross proportion. And I'm not saying that that should be ignored, but I am saying that there are positives to power creep. There are things that you can do now with a level 34 epic ship that I could never do. When I got my Enterprise at level 34, I cannot go out with Pipe Monroe Talon on a tier 5 Enterprise and grind heavy traders in Sol. It was impossible. That was not something you can do. You can definitely do that now. You can absolutely do that now. There are some positives to power creep. Some of those positives are for those players who are going through the 30s and going through the 40s now, especially for the first time, you're able to do a lot more than players who went through that when it was new content could. Like a lot more. I mean, it's crazy to think about this, but like 10 million Enterprises are common now, but not because level 50 players have them. They're common in the upper 30s and 40s. Like low 40s, upper 30s, you have 10 million Enterprises. That was an impossibility. That was not happening back in Leo day. So there are some positives to power creep. There are definitely huge negatives. I also want to, give that screenshot as an example of like, this is how much you've progressed in terms of being able to do things. Newer servers, like I joined server 708 and last year I joined server 97, will not have to experience certain hostile ground pain points that other people did. And I think that's a good thing. Romy says Newton for me at Ops 45 with research mostly complete is 26.7 million, right? So even taking the comparable level, like I was around that level 2 years ago when I took that screenshot, maybe 2.5 years ago, I was in the 40s. That's a significant jump, right? Wicked says my Enterprise is 33 million. Whoever would have thought that was possible and you're only Ops 55. Yeah, I mean, so the good of power creep is that the game has strengthened players to the point where the early game and the mid game should be easy as long as you're not skipping stuff. Like if you powered through and you're like level 42, but you're only, 20 million power, you're probably going to be struggling. But if you're playing the game at, what I would call the expected free-to-play / low spender pace, you don't have to have some of the struggles that you did before. Now, newer hostiles, a little bit of a different story. But even then, if you're, again, go back to the pace. If you're at the pace that I play, silence are easy, right? Gorn is easy. All comes down to how you play the game. But there are pros and cons. All right, anyway, I'm looking for traders now. See if we can find some traders. There is not one in this system. So we'll go to the next system. All right. Ooh. Isn't Syndicate the same or equal to other games VIP? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So, what happened to the event where we have to get OPC as points in the mining event? I mean, the War Room has OPC as scoring. So, you got that. All right, what other questions and comments we have? We are getting close to our wrap-up time. We're not there quite yet, but we're getting a little bit close. So if you got comments, questions, etc., throw them in. Then, of course, we'll be streaming again tonight on Twitch if y'all want to come hang out with us. So, Let me throw that link down just for those who aren't aware of it. And of course, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and commenting helps out a lot on all the videos. It helps the algorithm. So we'll make sure all STFC players are getting as much help as they can get. All right, let's see any traders in here. No, because somebody's going and doing them right now. Is it good to claim war room as soon as they're available? Yes. Because to level up the building, you have to claim the war room. Now, if you do a claim and can level up the war room, do that before doing your second claim. But you have to claim the war room to upgrade the war room. How do I kill an 84 million explorer? My max ship being the Kelvin at 32. Are we talking PvP or PvE? Because PvE, is probably a pretty easy task. Cerritos boosting, Titan boosting. Punching up to 84 is not that hard. PvP, that becomes more of a crewing thing. That's harder. That's more difficult. Any idea what a faction devotion token is, or where to find one? Let's see. No, those are commendation ranks. Devotion token. That's for a mission, isn't it? Oh, if you're doing a Q's trial, easy. Do what I was doing earlier, nuts. PMC and then boost with your Cerritos and your Titan, and you'll definitely kill that hostile. You'll definitely kill that hostile. Devotion token. I can't remember what that token is. Is it the G5? Because my brain keeps wanting to say the data path, like these. These. So, the problem is I rushed too many levels, and now I don't have good officers. And Lucas, best thing I can say is slow down. We can play catch up together. We can definitely make that happen. Yeah, PMC does work against Q's trials pretty much. Like you, I mean, you just saw me doing 4-star. I was doing these trials with PMC. This is a 4-star trial. I was doing these with PMC. Let's see if we got a trader in here by chance. Somebody's clear. Oh, no, there is one. Now we just got to get to it before this person wakes up. I thought you said you're going to 51 as you have all the ships to build. I am. I just didn't say I was going that day. I'll probably go this month, though. Probably go this month. All right, we did get one so far. But not the thing from the daily you spend in the faction store. The daily. Are you talking about? You're talking about the. 1 second. This is an allegiance key. That's different. That's an allegiance key. And the commendation ranks are a different thing. Like you only buy these for missions. Like if a mission asks for a commendation, that's when you get the commendation. Ooh, I forgot to pull my messages. Don't ever do that, Rev. Always pull your heckin' messages. Gotta have those faction credits. Hey, the Mantis BP. So, a couple ways. Number one is through event stores. Number two is through the incursions event store. So like we just had the incursions event store. Source the Mantis there, or through standard event stores that run every couple of months. That's how you obtain the Mantis. Send Bob, I'm glad I'm not the only one like second guessing what we're talking about here. It makes me feel a little bit better, honestly. Makes me feel a little bit better. But with the game having like 4,000 missions, I'm not exaggerating on that number. So I think it's, let me pull up. We're like almost, it's not exactly 4,000. It is missions. Oh, it is over. It's, yeah, there's over 5,000 missions now in total. So, yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot. I don't have them all memorized. I have some of the big ones memorized. Yay, Syndicate XP. Woo! More is more. And Zinni Bounty. Oh, I gotta do another one of those. Okay. Go back and see if we find another trader. All right, another trader. We're looking for a 41. Don't see a 41. Moss 49, I want to ask, how do we get intelligence and pattern disruptors? All right, so you get the pattern disruptors. Let me use the NX01. Way up here. Where's it at? Right here. So, which one of these has hostiles in it? This one has hostiles in it, right? Yeah, it does. All right. Peak. Pattern disruptor. Now, keep in mind, let me be very clear. The pattern disruptors for the research that you have in your research tree has nothing to do with the assimilate ability. This is dead content. The assimilated research that you find in that combat tree is only for fighting these hostiles. So that is ignorable research. But this is where you get the pattern disruptors. And it's in the combat tree. Those researches are right here. This is dead content. You don't have to worry about this if you don't want to. Because this has nothing to do with the assimilated ability. It has only to do with fighting those hostiles. Now, raw intelligence is something that you get G5 for like hostile hunting and mining. That's a G5 mechanic, the raw intelligence. If you cannot see or you cannot get to that system, as Sinbob says, then you need to complete your main storyline missions to access, keep going the wrong spot, to access the beta sector, to unlock this pathway. So you go through your main missions. And the intel is used for researching things like the superhighways, as Adam just pointed out. So raw intelligence is a G5 research mechanic. So you do dailies and stuff like that to earn raw intelligence. And then the pattern disruptors is a G4 mechanic that's part of what I would call dead content, which is the assimilated Borg hostiles. The reason those hostiles came into existence was they were at the time like the best way to farm broken ship parts. That was a big advantage to going through here. There's also really large concentrated latinum nodes out here. I don't know if Adam ever goes out here and mines concentrated latinum, but there's big C-lat nodes out here. I don't do either of those things, hence why I've not explored any of this. But that's what those things are for and what those areas are for. But I do neither of those things. I don't mine concentrated latinum, nor do I farm broken ship parts because there's better places to get broken ship parts. Now, Forgotten says those researches are a great way to blow 4-star mats once you no longer need them, but you still want the broken parts for the refinery. There you go. Fair enough. Find a reason to go grind them if you want. Here you go. More is more, right, Forgotten? I say it all the time. More is more. So there you go. I have taught a thing or two. But we got to wrap up. We are here an hour and a half. I'm also going to forward this to Overlord Eco so he can see y'all's feedback over the first 30, 40 minutes. Appreciate y'all. If y'all have any questions, comments, you want to hit me up, you can do that. All you got to do is hit me up on Facebook or Discord. Even Twitter. I do have Twitter. Y'all don't hit me up very much on there. Thank y'all so much for all those who donated today. A lot of y'all were very generous. Thank you so very much for supporting me and my 3 kids and my wife. Live long and plunder. Stay safe out there. Deuces. Catch y'all tonight for the live stream. Thank y'all so much. See you then.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.